because so many people scroll instantly past me as soon as they see my face. I understand why there's so many people out there that make comments like this. I'm not picking on the commenter. I'm just saying, like, they all think that they're the first ones ever to hit me with this, like, bristling logic. Like, dude, no, I've covered this question, like, dozens of times in hundreds of other videos. Like, this has been talked about to death on my channel all the time. No, where this comment comes from, we were not talking about people, Americans, who had drug and alcohol problems. That's not who we were discussing. We were discussing people who work full-time, who work full-time plus. We're not talking about ignorant people. In fact, ignorance is getting harder and harder to find, given that the proliferation of education everywhere. I'm talking about this right here. This whole thing, the internet. There has never been a time in history where people have access to information and knowledge like they have right now. So this has nothing to do with ignorance either. Like, dude, we were talking about people that were being disenfranchised by their own country. That's the conversation. Right? I mean, like, do you guys get that? I'm not disputing that there are people with drug and alcohol problems. That's a vanishingly small number, though. And of course, as I pointed this out before in the past, like, what would happen if you were to wave a magic wand and all those homeless drug addicts and homeless alcoholics, they were all clean, sober, and ready to go to work, just poof, right now. Let's say that were to happen. Let's say we were able to do that. Where would they go work? What exactly would they do? What precisely would they go do? Yeah, see, I have yet to get an answer on that question, by the way, from anybody. From left, right, center, doesn't matter. I have yet to get an answer for any of that. Because nobody has an answer for that. Because as soon as they see that, they're like, oh, well, they go work at a gas station. Really? Okay, so they're clean, sober, ready to go to work. They can work at a gas station. That's great. I'm good with that. How do they pay for their $2,000 a month rent? Right? And their ever-escalating costs of everything else. See, the stuff I talk about here is directly related to the inflation problem caused by bankers, government, and corporate oligarchs. That's a lot of what I talk about here. And so this idea that, well, there's so many other opportunities. No, those opportunities got sent to China, India, and a bunch of other third world shitholes, respectively. That's where they all went. So what's left, what they're mopping up now is by importing by insourcing a whole bunch of people from a bunch of other countries that will work for progressively cheaper and cheaper wages because they need to keep the dollar alive. The dollar requires endlessly cheaper labor and ever-escalating debt and costs. That's what that currency requires because it's a mathematically flawed currency. It's a scam. We know them as Ponzi schemes. It's the same basic idea with the same outcome, only on a global scale. That's the problem. It's sort of the problem with any of your global isms of any kind is that eventually you run out of everybody else's money. I don't care whether you want to call it communism or capitalism. If it has a central bank, it's the same outcome every single time. And yeah, so when I see these kinds of comments, I ordinarily just blow them off. But like, dude, every now and again, I have to dust these arguments off and point this stuff out to people who never statistically ever make it this far in a video. Statistically, the longest viewer of any of my videos is 40 seconds. That's it. I can go through the analytics and I can tell you, it's like, dude, most people don't watch any of this stuff. And if they do, they watch it just long enough to furiously start typing shit with their thumbs. And they don't watch the other 8 minutes of the video left of where I address a bunch of other issues. No. They zero in on one thing because they can't hold more than 5 thoughts at one time. I mean, like, you understand what I'm saying?